Headlight blinding on a rainy night. Steep grade up ahead, slow me down and making no time. Gotta keep on rolling. Those are windshield wipers slapping out the tempo. Break the perfect rhythm with the song on the radio. I gotta keep on rolling. I'm driving my life away. Looking for a better way.
Driver that drives for Uber and Lyft. Joe currently uses multiple phones to efficiently drive for Uber and Lyft. But this can be a pain at times and very unsafe. That was until Joe found Maximo, the rideshare app that automates Uber and Lyft ride requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and passenger rating, to determine which rides are best suited for Joe. When a ride request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will automatically accept the ride request that matches his filters, and then turn off the app that isn't currently on a ride. Once Joe finishes the ride, Maximo will turn everything back on. This will allow Joe to focus more on his passengers and driving safe.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday Roundtable. You guys, we always have so much fun here. I want to welcome our panel and then our guest as well. So we'll start with, wait, let me see if I get this right. Yes. Kim on the far side, Kim's side money plans.
He's like, yes, he's pointing the opposite direction.
Yeah. Gary would be down there. Gary'sApps.com. And right below me is Hannibal is Hungry.
That's the only way he can do right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's
I'm using my microphone actually.
let him have fun. Let him have fun.
And yeah, let me have fun, man. And of course, our guest tonight is Driven Wyld, Joe, and we had him on the podcast. Looking forward to this. So, Joe, how are you?
Doing all right. How you doing?
How
you guys doing?
Good. Good.
We're doing good.
So, Joe, I know that you're only food, right? You only do delivery.
Food and grocery, yes.
And grocery, okay.
Yeah.
So, but I know that you have a YouTube channel. I've seen it before. I remember seeing it when you were doing some stuff with Chad. But then I really take notice of your TikTok stuff because you always come up in my feed. I mean, you drop a lot, and I always wait for them too because it's like you start. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm noticing a pattern that's not there, but it seems like you always start off with a face, and then you just kind of like bust in. Like the first thing you say on the TikToks is like, it intrigues me. It's gonna grab me. I like it. I'm still figuring out how to even do my TikTok. Like I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I was basically the same way. Basically, what I'm currently doing with my TikTok is whenever something happens, like immediately just after I'm still in that emotional state of experiencing the thing, and I'm like, okay, I guess we got to talk about this now.
I don't know. Yeah, not everybody can grab me with all of their TikToks. Although I'm trying to just, as I'm sure you're aware, when you first get on TikTok, if you just follow everybody back, you'll have 10,000 followers in a day. So what actually proves something real is when you don't have a bunch of followers and you're earning them. I mean, like it's taken me a while to be just under 200. But an account could pop up tomorrow, not put a video up, and if you follow everybody back, you'll have 500 following you without a video. Even it's pretty sad. The algorithm is so upside down; it's hard to even understand. And just like all these, but might even be worse, you guys.
Yeah. Well, TikTok seems to be more geared towards interest than it is towards social. So. People are going to be more intrigued in the first 3 seconds than most people are going to be in a YouTube video where you got 30 seconds to really hook somebody in.
Yeah, I agree. I use TikTok to make my shorts on YouTube. And some people have even questioned that. But to be honest, I don't have OBS. I don't have the time to learn any kind of stuff. And TikTok's a great thing to be able to put text where you want it, pictures, that kind of stuff, and it works well as a transfer.
Yeah, TikTok as a whole is an excellent tool in order to actually make long form format, especially if you're on a budget and you don't really have a lot of money to work with for extra tools, and you don't have the skills to work with said extra tools. You can do everything right there on your phone.
Right.
So it is an excellent tool for that.
Yeah, it is. And and I'm pretty sure it has got me a couple people to come over to the uberlyftdrivers.com website, or even to YouTube or whatever, but because I'll have a comment like saying, "Oh, I checked out your website," or "Oh, I just subbed," and I'll find it on TikTok. So I know I'm not completely wasting my time making these things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But it's coming. It's slow. When other people finally start to get on, I probably will have some advice. Like, don't do what I did in the beginning.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, so it's good to have you on, Joe. So we'll talk about kind of a handful of things today. So I guess one of the things, I guess since we're on TikTok, let's just start with this one real quick. So I know that you might have even done a duet with this one, Joe, on there or something, but the Dashers will cancel once or maybe I even saw it on your YouTube.
That's YouTube. Yep. I made a video on this. Yep.
Yeah, Dashers will cancel once they get assigned to it. Store manager shows what it's like when DoorDash orders take long to get picked up by the drivers. So can you would you want to give us your take on this? What you learned, what your take?
Sure. So first off, as you're reading through the article, watching the actual TikTok, you can tell the guy's coming from the restaurant perspective. They're not coming from the Dasher's perspective. The goal and what the restaurant is trying to achieve is not what the Dasher's trying to achieve. He's saying that there's a lot of orders sitting for a long time. Yes, a part of that could be tips. A part of that could be wait time. And a lot of that could be a bunch of different things. And while all those things are valid, yes, there is going to be an extended wait for somebody to pick it up. And some restaurants have even taken precautions or taken steps to actually combat that. And unfortunately, every step they've taken to combat that has almost backfired, because any move they make, it would either increase the wait time, which then the Dasher would then leave again and then not pick up the order as quickly the second time.
Right.
But as far as what his perspective shows, it doesn't mean you should change your strategy as a Dasher. Unfortunately, it's part of the reality of working with any of these gig apps, is that if there's going to be an extended wait time, if customers are not going to tip, there is not going to be a driver to pick up the order. And while you can also argue that the company should be paying us better, there is also the other point to that, where they're just not going to. They have no reason to actually do so. And I'm sorry, I'm talking on a soapbox and totally taking the stage here, but that's every perspective I have.
No, that's good, because that's kind of how we start this. But I mean, like, that's why I was asking you, because I come from a lot of restaurant bar background, and I'm sure Van. He's had about 100 handles on every platform. He's a great guy, lives in Denver like me, but I don't know which one he is right now. Hannibal probably does. DoorDash delivery.
I think he's
delivery
DoorDash tips right now. Yeah, working that algorithm.
Yeah, but yeah, he's the one with take the bus bozo.
Yeah,
tips, like you.
Yeah.
So he was doing some videos that I saw on TikTok as well that were great. In fact, I was trying to bring one over here tonight, but one of them was like, he's like, and somebody even yelled at him at the end of it to get away, because he was looking in the McDonald's window going, "See all that? That's all the orders that ain't been taken." And like, you could see some of the times, like some of them had been there an hour and a half.
Yeah.
He's like, "This is why you tip, punks." And then right behind it, so I hit his. So of course, what do? I'm on TikTok. I hit Van's icon. I go over to his page, and I see like always, I see a bunch of new ones up. I scroll through a couple, but then I get to one too where he's like, "You don't tip, this happens," and he starts eating the guy's food. And there was 1,000 comments. This is staged. Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. I'm just laughing because he's like, what? No tip? I'm going to eat some fries. He's like, I'm even going to take a drink of this drink. And then he's like, you know what? I do feel like taking a bite of a burger too. So I don't know. It might have just been his order, but he put it up. He got a ton of views. He got a ton of comments.
I mean, that's what it takes to get views these days. Yeah.
I feel like Van is everywhere and he's so entertaining.
Yeah.
So-
he's entertaining, definitely. That's what keeps people watching.
Yeah.
But he's making a good point. But yeah, that's how you reach people, right? You can say it in a way that's like a lecture or educational, but you try to be funny and throw some names out there, and some people get really upset. Like some people may accuse Van of being a bully. And he's just being funny. He's not showing people's faces. He's just he's showing these orders, and they're sitting there for a long time. And if a McDonald's order is sitting longer than, I don't know, 20 minutes, it's inedible. So like, there's something needs to be changed. The process is not working. And it seems like the restaurants that I noticed that have these problems are McDonald's, your Chipotle. Like I'm thinking of like really good restaurants, like a sushi spot or some kind of a lot of the pizza stores around my neighborhood. They're not allowed to order just sitting there. People are grabbing them and they're moving through, because I think the restaurant has the ability to put the orders out, and the food is getting tipped, so that the drivers are picking them up. It's just these restaurants, these particular fast food, these are the places where you have a bunch of bags just sitting there and not getting picked up.
Yeah, you can find that the most common in fast food and fast casual restaurants. So fast food being Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, et cetera, and then you got fast casual, Chipotle, Blaze Pizza, Jersey Mike's, Subway. You'll find that most people don't typically tip for that because their goal was to spend less than like $10 on an order, maybe even a little bit more depending on how tax works in their area and how expensive things are. And then that's their lunch for when they're at work and they can't really go out to a restaurant and actually pick something out because they only got 30 minutes and their boss is already a pain in the ass. But I'm speaking from experience. It's okay. And then after that, you have places like pizza, sushi, things that people would actually tip for because that was how we were conditioned. That's how we were. There were pizza delivery people all the time, and you knew that you had to tip the driver. It was expected. Yeah. But people just aren't doing that anymore, especially on DoorDash, and people will still combat the concept of tips are for great service. And while there is a truth to that, it's just not feasible anymore, especially with contactless delivery. And the world has evolved since then, since tips have been initially brought out. So either tip first or you're not getting your food.
See, I feel like we visited this a long time ago, and I said something similar. Like, the more people use the service, the less they're going to tip.
Yeah. And then,
that's just how it works out.
It's funny. You just said a long time ago, because we talked about this a ways back, and it wasn't when Atlanta or anybody was on from Europe, but let's look at the pandemic again. During the pandemic, they never even had contactless, or leave it. They were, you still had to hand the food to the person like a civil human.
Yeah.
Not just, hey, your food's in the dirt, get it. Like you had to hand it to them. And over there, they don't tip. So they still had to go the extra mile, and the tipping culture doesn't really exist there.
You mean prior to the pandemic and and before they changed the pay model to what it is now, or between those two times?
During the pandemic.
During the pandemic, that's when they just started contactless delivery and...
Right. No. But Europe never had it. Europe was handing it to...
Really?
Yes. And there they don't tip. So here we are saying, hey, I threw your food in the dirt. Where's my tip? And there they just do it because that's what they do. they are used to, like, I mean, we had Atlanta, and she blew my mind being from this industry that I'm about to say, that she
Yeah.
told me that bartenders don't get tips. I was like, how does that even work?
They
Can I
probably get paid they probably get paid much better there than they do on a hourly basis than they would down here, though, right?
Of course. I mean, like here in Colorado, when I did it, it was like $3 an hour.
Yeah.
There's what's called a server wage
Yeah.
because you're getting tips.
I
But
just want
even
to say, sorry,
Go ahead.
I just want to say something though, real quick. I know we're all talking about tips, but kind of circling back to like the food being like left around. I get it from like us being drivers and why it's there, but I have to say, as a mom, it hurts my feelings when I see like wasted food just like sitting there where I feel like it could go to someone or somewhere that like really needs it. I don't know. Maybe it's just the mom and me coming out, but sometimes it hurts my feelings seeing like
I
all
know
that
that
food just kind of sitting there.
I know that some restaurants actually donate the food at the end of the day to a homeless shelter, at least around here. Well, actually, there's no homeless shelter. But it's more like they just find homeless people around and they just kind of just one by one it. But it depends on what's actually available. But I know exactly what you mean. If food gets wasted, it could go to somebody who really needs it. I
yeah,
understand how you feel.
absolutely.
But
And,
going back,
and why is it sitting there for 2 hours? Like Van, when he was shooting that video, I was surprised he got that close on some of them. On the tickets, you could see hour 45. And after a half hour, why isn't that being given to an employee or something? While it is still warm and decent, hey, does anybody want to take a meal break and just give it to them for free at least? I mean, like, why are they? I mean, are
bold of
you?
you to assume that employers actually value their employees like that to where they actually give them food.
I guess I'm just saying, if because in an hour 45, you're throwing that away.
Yeah,
Just nobody's gone through that yet to say, oh, this is trash.
yeah.
But why wouldn't, I mean, you don't even have to value the employee to say, hey, you want a food break? Because this is getting really old.
Yeah.
It's not really valuing the employee. It's just offering them scraps, you know?
Mm.
But I don't know. I would think that you'd want to get rid of it, you know, instead, because like at the end of it, you hear somebody saying, hey, don't videotape something, and then he just kind of moves the camera.
You gotta watch that.
Yeah. But you were saying about the hourly wage for bartenders as well.
Yeah. I don't think it would be that, to be honest, guys. Like, I don't think it's like what it would see for me. And if I bartended on a Thursday or even a Wednesday night, Tuesday's pretty dead, but Wednesday, Thursday, but especially Friday, Saturday, I'm not walking out of the bar with less than $50 an hour in tips.
Yeah.
So there's no, and I mean, I don't know this, but I doubt in any chance in the world that a bartender in Europe pays 50, 40, 30, even 20 an hour. I bet you it's more like 15.
It says here that they start between 22,000 to 29,000 a year.
See, like that? No way would, because that is not. I mean, you guys might say some people might think, well, you know, once you learn, it's not that hard, or is it high volume? Bartending is a high. It's a high stress,
it's a challenging, it's
tough
very
job.
stress. Yeah.
And if you're not making the money off it, it's definitely not worth it.
It's probably good in Europe for more like you're getting through college kind of deal, just to, you know, make some money during that period of time. But I can't imagine it being the level of what you're talking about, to where $50 an hour, nothing like that.
See, I'm reading this though, and it says that there is additional cash compensation for bartenders in London, UK, etc.
From who gives it to them?
It doesn't say that, and it's like very long.
It's just
but,
like, hey, they do get more money from where?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, let me take a quick break here and shout out to everybody, because I forgot to say hello to the chat, and it looks like there's a bunch of people in here. So, what's up, Emily? How you doing, Carrie? What's up, Bud Soda? Hi, Holly. Hey, Marissa. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Jose. What's up, Tony? And what's up, Red? Dash Theory, what's up, John? Driven Mom too. What's up, Lisa? Nova Dasher, what's up? Have I caught up? Maybe. Hey, what's up, Michelle? How are you? And what's up, Joe? The other Joe. This Let's Play DoorDash Joe.
So this was the guy who confused me.
Yeah. That's the singing Joe. That's what we'll call that Joe.
Wait, he could sing?
He wrote a
pretty good.
song in an afternoon about DoorDash and sang it to us live a cappella.
Yeah. So
Oh,
What's up,
that is
Yost?
cool.
so you got about 40 minutes to get yours ready.
Yeah. Hold on.
That's your true test right now.
Listen. I value you guys. I may have just met some of you very recently, but I value you guys, and I would never hurt you guys by singing my voice.
Well, just so you know, we would love it though if you
Okay.
do decide to go for it. So okay, before I do want to move to that story. Kim's going to talk about something that we should definitely jump into because I got a couple other parts to it too. But first, I wanted to say that if anybody didn't notice that another place fell to the Uber app with their taxis. So Brussels is now on Uber's taxi app. I mean, this is just getting weird, you guys. Like, literally, you know that I have.
Why is it weird though? I mean, they're paying like crap. So
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
paid like I don't know. It's weird to me because I don't understand how the other countries with their unions or whatnot might work. So I don't really understand how do you mesh a union philosophy with a Uber philosophy?
I'm sure some kind of money is exchanging hands with very powerful people. And they're like, okay, we're good now. We're friends. We're all good. I know we were fighting since 2014 or whatever it is. Like we've been fighting for years. Now we're friends all of a sudden.
I guess what I could say is that I guess we could all safely assume that the unions didn't go, it's cool if you just come on in. We don't need to charge any more money anymore. You know, it's fine, Uber, just take it over. So clearly Uber is paying them what they were making, if not more, the unions. So
or Uber is taking advantage of the situation from the past 2 years. So like if the events of 2 years didn't happen, would this be occurring? Like, you know, like
I still think it would. I think Gary and I have talked about this. I still think it would. Maybe not yet. Maybe not like this yet. But I mean, face it, Uber came around because cabs were
too
failing.
expensive. Yeah, they were too expensive. You couldn't hail them from your own neighborhood. I mean, you was gonna get them at airports or bars.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I've said this before. If like when we would call for a cab at the bar, when it's especially around late night, last call, they'd say, "Yeah, we're sending one your way." I honestly don't even believe they were. They would just wait till one was in Lodo in lower downtown, and just be like, "That yeah, we probably sent it and it left." Because literally they'd be like, yeah, I don't know, tell them like an hour. So the wait times were like so ridiculous. So, I mean, there was a need for somebody to step in. But, you know, people say all the time that, you know, well, look at all the rapes and robberies and things that are going on with Ubers. Well, Uber has about 100 times the amount of cabs in this country. And we have way less. I know it's still a huge problem, but we have way less incidents than cabs used to. Way less.
Yeah.
I mean, cabs used to have that same stuff going on all the time. Rapes, robberies, all kinds of stuff. So.
I do remember that the time, like, you know, it's interesting. You remember the time when you called a cab service to get a cab to come to you, and it never came in 5 minutes, right? Compared to what Uber is able or Lyft is able to do. Like, you had to call, and then someone showed up, and then you had to say, is this the, you know, like, because sometimes they didn't have signs or any kind of signage on the car. So it was always a bit of a shady deal anyway. Uber has removed a lot of that. Even me going to Times Square trying to hail a cab like back in the 90s, I was going to have a tough time for many reasons. Where now I paid, right? I prepaid before I get the cab. The cab actually shows up and there's a better not a better interaction, but they will stop for me compared to trying to hail a cab in the 90s where it was difficult to do so. So there's the good and the bad dealing with cabs in general, but I just find it interesting. Again, going back to the alliance between the multi-billion-dollar company and the unions, and not enough anger, or not even anger, but there's not a lot of like scrutiny with it. Like, how's this happening? Like, what's going on here? That Teamsters is joining in with these companies. Like, they just gave up
money, lots of
I was
money.
gonna say it's too much money involved.
Too much.
That's
money.
what it usually all boils down to. It's money.
At pretty much anything of this effect, it's never about the benefits of the people. It's more like who can get paid, and that's really what it comes down to.
So what up, Flex?
but
I missed you, but there was no way to track them. There was a way to, wasn't there a way to track
He's talking
cabs?
about cabs.
I don't think there was really a way to
talking
track
about
cabs.
No.
Right. I
You
thought
got the radio, but you're not tracking, right? Like they communicate with that headset.
Yeah. I thought they they were at least at that point where you could put like the little gadgets on the car and follow the car.
Not in the 90s, I don't think.
No, not in the 90s.
Nothing.
I mean, no, we didn't even have like good cell phones until late 2000s.
You didn't like those big ones in the car that you picked up, like a CB,
Like a brick. It was a brick.
had a cord attached to it.
Yeah.
Anybody who's in the chat right now, if you're Gen Z, you probably wouldn't even know what a flip phone is at this point.
I think everyone's a little older.
I'm gonna say I'm way older than that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the Razors.
I'm a millennial, and I was on the back end of the flip phone phase. I had a Razor. I think that was my first phone, actually, when I was younger.
Yeah, cell phones didn't come out until I was like in college.
Yeah.
And now everybody, as soon as you hit like 9, you have a smartphone with internet capabilities.
You ain't getting no damn phone 9.
Okay.
Hannibal,
don't do it, man. Wait till he's.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
The spoiled children in my area have a smartphone by the age of 9, and the latest version.
My kids
my son had an iPad, but my son didn't have a phone until he was 14.
I think what also made it or like sped it up is what happened after 9/11, and a lot of parents weren't able to communicate with their kids, at least in obviously not my area. So like the phones were just passing around. Like, my wife had a phone for 15. It was like, I'm not getting a phone. I'm not getting him a phone anytime soon. He doesn't need it. He's good. He'll figure it out. I'll find a way to communicate with him.
Yeah, I remember that the the Blackberries, they were around since like the beginning, aren't they? I don't even know, but I feel like they're still around.
They didn't change a thing either. They haven't changed a thing. Not one
my
thing.
daughter.
Now there's a
won't be
company, man.
Yeah, my daughter won't be getting a phone until she's 30.
She's not allowed to date until she's 30 either.
Hey, whenever you guys decide to give your kids a phone, go on eBay and get them like some old phone.
Yeah.
And just see how they
or
react.
hand them down yours when you trade up if yours is worth next to nothing. Just
oh my gosh.
Get them a pager and see what they do with it.
Pagers used to be the way of life, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And if your kid has a problem keeping the phone intact, get him a Nokia.
Things
The
that last
Nokias were
nuclear bombs.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
They're better than cockroaches.
So let's jump into this grocery game for a minute. So Kim, what's up with the DoorDash and Walmart?
So I obviously, well, you probably, if you did or did not hear, Walmart and DoorDash have terminated their contract with each other starting in September of 2022. What I found actually really interesting, it kind of confirmed, I feel like what we were all speculating is that basically Walmart really wants to be kind of self-contained and self-independent, which is, I feel like the article didn't say this. I'm actually saying this, that they started their partnership in 2018. That they did say, but I almost feel like they used DoorDash to really get into the delivery business, and then once like they're up and running and Spark is successful and now they can be self-contained, now they're like, okay, it's time to come to a mutual understanding that we're splitting partnerships. What I also found interesting was that Walmart actually went ahead of Instacart in the in the grocery delivery business, which I didn't know. I actually wouldn't have thought that. So with that being said, that's another reason why they're kind of going to self-contained. And with Spark drivers, I want to get this right. Spark is now 75% of all Walmart deliveries. That's how big they're actually blowing up Spark and making Spark. I don't know where the other 25 is coming from. I know they're still partnering with Uber Eats for a couple of deliveries, so maybe that's where the 25 is coming from. But
It's still on Instacart too.
Yeah, so I guess stay tuned to find out. It just looks like Walmart just keeps getting bigger and bigger, more than what they already are. So that was kind of it. It should be interesting, at least from a DoorDasher perspective, what it's going to be like not going to like close to a Walmart and like your phone going off like crazy. Walmart. So I feel like that's good for DoorDash, at least from a driver's perspective. But I don't know, from Spark, hopefully it'll generate some more orders for Spark drivers.
See, I don't think that Walmart used them to build their own platform. I just think that DoorDash underperforms so bad that Walmart had to.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like that question. I don't have Spark. I try. Like I'm still waiting for that. But is the experience as a customer or as a driver better than what DoorDash was providing for Walmart orders? I'm assuming it was a better whole environment. So
yeah. Like I use Walmart Spark all the time for my Sam's and Walmart. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's great. I go in there, I put a time that I want it, and it gets there at that time.
Right.
Like there's no, somebody might pick it up, somebody might not pick it up, might be unassigned. Or there's none of that with Spark as a customer.
No, okay.
I feel like that same kind of thing holds true with Shipt too. I feel like when you keep it in house, to some level, I know Shipt does a couple off-brand stuff, but they mainly are Target. I feel like when you keep that in-house, I feel like, yes, you're going to do a much better job.
Well, you can control it better. Like you can control the drivers that work for you. You can control everything, you can control more. You have more control over your in-house more than going to a third party. You're not controlling the drivers that work for a third party, which makes your experience better, makes the customer service experience better. And let's face it, Spark drivers are killing it out there with, making some bank.
Yeah, I was actually going to say Walmart Spark is, I keep hearing from a lot of different people that Walmart Spark is actually paying them a lot better than DoorDash did. And I was actually impressed by that. Unfortunately, my area is full on Walmart Spark, literally outside of like two areas that are like hours away from me. And I'm like genuinely impressed by how many people are advocating for Spark that way. And when you hear Walmart on DoorDash, it's like you're dealing with the devil itself, and no one's happy with Walmart. And that, I think, was the main contributor with why Walmart can't really succeed on DoorDash anymore, is because that distrust that a lot of drivers have for Walmart as a whole. If you can't trust the people you work with, you almost are like automatic, no, I can't take this. It's like the Cheesecake Factory for me. For every time I go there, they have a rude attitude, and they have and they're very not trusting. They're not able to actually get the job done as quickly as you need to.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I think that like Walmart had to do their own thing, is because what's the first thing we think when we get a Walmart on DoorDash? It shows up as $6.50.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that thing could be $40. So by them hiding the tip, for a Walmart order and the item list and things like that, we get all that transparency on Spark. So why would any Dasher ever do a Walmart order? If you have Spark, you should never be doing Walmart for any other company.
I think it should be very interesting with them terminating their contract right before what I call fourth quarter, their Christmas time. So it should be really interesting to see how Walmart does during fourth quarter with just their in-house, and from a Spark driver, like how much more money is going to be out there for Spark drivers just because now everything's in-house. So I think fourth quarter should actually be really interesting for Walmart coming up.
So the contract was terminated like immediately, or is it going to terminate?
September, just start of the fiscal year.
Okay.
So my thought on that process is not just how Walmart's going to do, it's how DoorDash is going to do. This is a very busy season for DoorDash coming up. This is where they start pushing all of the pizza bags, and they tell people, get a pizza bag. You could actually get into the large order catering program, so they have more people in the program, so that way they can get ready for the holiday seasons like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, all of those holidays. New Year's Eve, don't even get me started on New Year's Eve. You're never going to stop on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
The restaurants are way too
don't
fast.
wish that upon me.
That's New Year's Eve is rookie night for everything.
Yeah.
Like I just want to go home and cry on if I work New Year's Eve. I'm just like, why did I do this?
Yeah, like I see on New Year's Eve, I see people waiting at restaurants for like 2 hours. I'm like, why?
I mean, you get good money, don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot of work in comparison.
See, I can honestly say on New Year's Eve, there were a couple years I crushed it in rideshare, but it actually tapered off to not be such a great night, even if you did work it.
For rideshare, interesting.
Yeah, no,
in
fact, not at all. I could make more on a normal Thursday.
It used to be though, whenever they had the 10x surges.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But when you have every driver in Denver out because it's New Year's Eve, it's like they're not going to surge.
Yeah, they're not gonna surge. They're gonna be oversaturated by far.
Oh, mine always surged 6 to 10 all the time.
So speaking of the delivery space, I want to give some props to Instacart here. If you guys didn't see, Instacart has agreed to a $2.5 million settlement with the government of Washington, D.C. to resolve the 2020 lawsuit alleging that the company misled consumers into thinking the service fees it formerly charged customers went to workers as tips, which it did not. Okay, so $2.54 million. As part of the agreement, the District of Columbia, the e-commerce company, will pay the city $1.8 million within 30 days and release $739,000 in change and sales tax payments it had earlier disputed. This is the kicker to me. Although Instacart agreed to do a monetary settlement with the city, the company did not admit to doing anything wrong. In fact, quote, Instacart denies all of the district's allegations and claims, including that it violated any consumer protection laws or district sales tax laws. Okay, then why'd you pay him? Because Instacart, we know you have 500 attorneys.
Yeah.
If you didn't do this, why? I know some things can be called drop in the bucket. I don't think you can call even to these companies, you can't call 2.54 million a drop in the bucket. Why'd you pay it?
Yeah.
I mean,
there is also, like, between all of these companies, they're all going to act the same way. DoorDash did the same thing when they were caught stealing tips.
Yep.
And now Instacart is caught in the same area. They're not going to say that they did anything wrong. They're just going to pay somebody off so that way they stop yelling about it. And then that's it.
Right, but they're paying the city off, and it's public record.
Drivers benefit nothing from those lawsuits. Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
No.
But my point is,
the only lawsuit I've seen that benefited the drivers was the Amazon one. Like, I got a big ass check from that. But all these other ones that they're getting sued, Uber, Instacart, and all that, all the fees are going to the attorneys and to the state.
And I think everybody who ended up getting into like the class action or the mass arbitration suits ended up getting like pocket change in comparison, right?
Yep.
That's why they kept all those in the terms of service. That's why they kept it all, that you always had to arbitrate in a way where it's like, if you do win, you're going to get 40 cents.
Yeah.
You know, they made it very difficult to even call them out. But here, this, to me, I guess this just hits differently with me because they've written a check for a lot of money to the District of Columbia, but they're saying, but let's make it clear we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, we strongly deny the district's allegations. Well, if you didn't, why you?
Then you wouldn't be paying them.
I mean, I understand. And also, it's also like you're thinking about: do you want to drag this on in court? It's like when you settle out of court, or you settle something that, are you admitting guilt or you're not admitting guilt?
Yeah, you do have to think about how much it's costing them to actually have this case going between the lawyers and the court cases. That's a good point.
When it comes to like these types of things, sorry guys, I feel like lawyers are like blood sucking, like give me the money,
they're
give me
vampires.
the money, give me the money. Like they're literally going after every single penny to make them more richer than what they already are.
Oh, that's why they do the class action, is because the more people they get on board with it, the higher their pay is. Everybody else has to split whatever's left over.
Yeah. To me, I'm still blown away though, because to me, I don't care what level. I mean, Max could have understood this at 5. You know, like if I read him what I just read, like, hey, this company's going to pay Washington D.C. $2.54 million because they were stealing drivers' tips and calling them service fees. Oh, and he'd say, oh, that really, why, maybe, I don't know what he'd say, but that seems like bad business, let's say. And I'd say, yeah, but the funny thing is they are saying that even though they're giving it to them, they didn't do it.
If my daughter was awake, I could have brought her over.
But, I'll give you the money anyway, but...
I mean, I don't know. It's the same thing. It's like what else I was looking at here with the article of where have all the unicorns gone, which is crazy because now Instacart went from 39 billion to their whatever it was 24 billion, and then they got appraised at 16.9 by Bloomberg. Now Instacart is looking at a potential 15, and that's their evaluation. I don't know who's slashing this stuff over there, but it seems like Instacart is going to go out of business before they IPO.
They're going to IPO at like 1.5 million.
But seriously though, like how is Instacart really going to keep up with Walmart, who now just went above Instacart and is now self-contained, Ship, who is self-contained to Target, but they already have like a little small piece of the puzzle. Like they have like little grocery stores, and they have mom and pop. Like I don't see how Instacart is going to sustain themselves with the amount of pay that they're paying their drivers when you have Shipped and Walmart coming out like, here's all this money to drivers. Here's all this money to drivers. Why would you ever do an Instacart when you can't even compete with what Spark and Shipt are paying their drivers?
I never even thought about it like that, Kim. Yeah, Walmart's going to do their own. Ship's going to do their own. Amazon does the Whole Foods on their own now.
But why?
Most likely Grubhub will start now that.
But
why wouldn't they?
That's a good question. I'm assuming. I guess maybe we talked about a lot of times about, is it possible that someone's going to buy Instacart, but then Amazon invested in Grubhub a little bit? I would assume that Instacart is. Well, actually, I'll ask you guys this question: what company is more valuable to you, Instacart or Grubhub?
Grubhub.
You think so?
Yeah, and I'm going to say Grubhub too, to be honest.
And I'm saying that because Grubhub does food delivery, not grocery delivery. If you're already Amazon, Walmart, or Shipped, well, you already got the grocery. So the only thing you need is the food.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you want to buy up a grocery one that essentially is going out of business anyways?
Right.
They should merge with Lyft.
No.
You don't like Lyft?
Lyft
No.
is the only one where they
It's
are.
like a horrible partnership.
Yeah.
I know, I love it.
Let's drag each other into the ground.
You
Into
know,
the water.
it's funny you mentioned that. Lyft is the only one that is very underdeveloped in the food delivery space as a whole, even though they have started to wheedle their way into the food delivery space.
What?
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
they partnered with that third party company though. I mean, I wouldn't say that
that's what I was going to say
going
too. Like,
into the
what
food-
did they
yeah.
even do again? I can't like. That's how little I hear about it. I don't even
Basically,
remember what they
Lyft
did.
has Lyft has a white label program. So similar to how DoorDash has their white label program, where you
Right.
go through the restaurant website and they outsource it to DoorDash. Lyft does the same thing, to where you go through a website and they outsource it to Lyft.
I've had that in my market for a year now, and I have seen 0 orders from that.
Like
I wonder
said,
what
it's
Lyft drivers think
underdeveloped.
too when they first see it. They're like, "Dude, why is there a food delivery?"
Well, it shows up as package, is what well, I haven't seen a request for it, but
Interesting.
the request, like when they send it to me in my app, and they said, "Hey, we now have package delivery," is what they put it as.
Package.
Yeah. Now I've never seen a request. Like I got it. I was like, okay. Never seen a request from it.
You see,
But
I see
I've heard other
package.
drivers doing like O'Reilly's and AutoZone for it.
That's another one too. I know that Uber started doing that as well, as where they're getting into package delivery with Uber Connect. They actually have advanced auto parts as an option.
I feel like
But-
Advanced Auto Parts is like everywhere. Like they're in I mean they're in Uber Eats, they're in Spark, even though I think Spark is probably one of the best paying auto parts. Like I feel like Advanced Auto Parts has like a little piece in every single one of them. Like let's dabble
Yeah.
here, let's dabble there, and we'll just get all of our orders out.
Why not at this point, right?
Yeah. And so speaking of Lyft, though, this is gonna be a story for Gary. Gary's gonna actually love this story. I hate that he's gonna love this story too. So, the Ioniq 5s in Vegas launched, the autonomous, and they're free. If you pull open as of like this week, if you open up the Lyft app and you say I need to go here, and it said, and you go through the process, and your driver's coming, it offers you a would you rather take an autonomous vehicle? Now,
Oh,
these
boy.
were supposed to be fully autonomous using the back roads of Vegas. However,
They're going.
they are
right
not
down the
far
strip.
enough along, so they got to have a guy ride in the
Can you
front.
imagine them on the strip
not
of
autonomy.
Vegas?
Right, I know, but that's the whole article, because this was their date. They were supposed to launch and be using the back roads, because there's the back roads behind the casinos. They were supposed to be using those, and now they still called it a launch. However, there will be a driver in every car supervising.
Supervising.
So to me,
Operating it?
all this means is that some Lyft drivers, a very few select ones, are going to be able to drive an Ioniq 5.
I was just gonna say that.
So when someone crashes their car, they have someone to blame. The
That guy.
It's
his fault.
That guy.
Well,
That's the other thing I'd like to know. I mean, how are they treating this differently than Uber did? Look at the problems
Well-
Uber did.
why are these people having problem getting a self-driving vehicle? Like, it shouldn't be that hard. I don't know. you
Like,
guys-
as in, we should be able to knock it out this weekend? or-
Yeah.
You know what?
I was gonna say,
Okay.
if Elon Musk is having challenges, what do you think we're
No,
gonna do?
it
man?
really shouldn't be that hard. The problem is, I think a lot of them are scared, like to go in there and tweak the code how it needs to be tweaked. You know, I mean, because
Gary,
that's all
you need
it
to go
is.
out and do it. Show
I
them
know.
how
You
it's
know what,
done.
Elon?
Do
Elon,
it.
if you're watching this, send me a full self-driving Tesla. Let me tap my laptop into it. I'll have it done by Monday for you.
Go for
By
it.
Just saying.
Monday. Like it's a no-brainer.
Well, because what it
Well,
is,
for Gary, it is a
they-
no-brainer.
they have the fail safes in them. Like I was watching a video on it because like I don't know if you guys seen the video today that came out. I think it was today or yesterday. But you know you have to pay to beta test the full self-driving version of the Tesla. You actually have to pay like $200 a month or something like that. And the guy that's beta testing it, he posted a video of it, and Elon started bashing him for it. Like, first off, the dude's paying you $200 a month to beta test for it. You should fix it. But it couldn't switch lanes. It couldn't take curves because they have that fail-safe in that if the steering wheel rotates more than a certain percentage, that disables the auto drive. Kind of like my car. I think it's on a quarter of a turn. If it goes more than that, then it disables the auto drive. Like, disable that damn feature. I don't care if the thing does donuts. Just let it go.
I care. I care if it does donuts. I do not want to be in a car that's auto doing donuts. Oh wow!
Damn,
wow,
Arturo.
look at that.
Woohoo!
Well,
Arturo's
you
been
taking
kind
out
of
there?
lighting it up lately in here. Like you're going huge, bro.
Nice.
Did he get a new job?
Arturo,
He
good
does it
guy.
all, man.
He's a good guy.
He does it all.
But
Arturo, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Arthur. And I'm not saying that they need to. I'm saying for beta testing purposes, like they should get rid of some features that they have in there to see what the actual car can do. Because if you disable it every time it does a quarter of a turn, you're never going to have a self-driving vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, where does the driver's thing lie? You know what
What
I
do
mean?
you mean?
Liability? You
Yeah, I
mean his
mean, are they getting
liability?
paid $2 an hour more, and yet they're on the line for everything like the other
Well,
driver?
first off, I hate having drivers in autonomous vehicles. I hate
Because
it. I
it
think
makes it not autonomous.
Well, no, it's not that. Are they an engineer? First off, are they an
Yeah.
engineer?
yeah.
Right,
Can they
exactly.
fix the problem
Like,
if there is one?
If there's not, I might as well. They just might as well not even do it. Just hey, go do rideshare, because if they don't know what's going on with the vehicle, why are they even in it?
Hey,
we had
Hannibal,
this. Go ahead.
do you ever, like being in Brooklyn, do you ever foresee autonomous actually working in your area?
Oh, that's a
I know
good point.
Steve is not going to like this answer. Eventually, yes. I think eventually this stuff is going to work. And I know robots are bad. I know, Steve. But eventually, now it's going to happen anytime soon? No, it's not going to happen anytime soon. It has to be a level of testing needs to be done. I think, as Gary is saying, you have to find more, I guess, efficient ways to try to make it work, or at least get it to a point and not be on the road. You know, like I definitely agree with you. It should not be in front of people, because that, talking about that case a couple of months ago where that man died. That's totally unacceptable, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen, man.
You want to hear something else that's crazy? I seen a post, and I don't remember which car company it was right now, but they were recruiting parents to bring their kids so they're autonomous, so the kid could walk in front of the autonomous car
What?
to see if the car stopped.
No.
Yes.
Not a kid.
Awesome.
Not a
Test
kid.
children.
No. That,
You mean like a
that
dummy?
pisses
Like
me
a
off.
dummy or
Like I was reading that, I was like,
Who would volunteer
hell
their
are
kid
these
to stand
dumbass
in front of
people?
a car?
I've heard that
I
story.
understand.
Didn't
Actually
Tesla want to take that
speaking-
story down? Like they're saying it
Actually
was like a. Let me look that up. Actually,
Actually
But
speaking,
Hannibal, sorry.
I understand to a certain degree if you say an adult and you actually paid them and they signed a waiver and they had the understanding that that's what they're doing. Fine. A kid? No, that ain't gonna fly. The kid barely knows what's going on to begin with.
yeah, my
He
kid
probably
didn't know.
does.
it was Tesla. I'm sorry. Here, it's Tesla. People are now testing Tesla full self-driving on real kids.
I'm
On-
trying to teach my
Unreal
daughter how
kids.
to
Listen to
I
those
can't.
both
words.
ways.
Unreal kids.
On
It
real
sounds like
kids.
they know it's
Not-
going to
not-
hit
not-
one.
Not those anime children or the cartoon characters, real children. That's who we're dealing
Oh.
with here.
But why isn't it
Hannibal-
real children with kid? Why is it on kids? It sounds like they're going to
Well,
hit them and park
what
on
I think, and
Well, tie him
I would
to a
have,
pole.
I would have to go back and read that whole thing, but I think what it was is, adults are tall, so they're trying to make sure that the lower level of the car is catching children for school zones and things like that.
But who's
Yeah.
going to put their kid in front of a car to test this.
People who truly value their
How much they paying?
Maybe you get a Tesla out of it. I don't know.
That's
Hey,
something to threaten
imagine-
your kids with. If they're misbehaving, I'm going to
Yeah, I'm
send
putting
you
fine
on
this
that
car. I
Tesla
better
test.
stop.
I mean, are they
Oh,
doing
my
animals too? Like, are they doing little puppies?
That's interesting. Actually, have they actually tested it on animals, raccoons, possums, things in the wild that could potentially get hit by an autonomous vehicle?
Or why don't they put those autonomous Uber Eats trash cans out in the road and see if it hits them?
Well, I'm looking at a picture here of this
Don't
article.
even.
Hold on, let me see if I can't share this real quick. You guys are gonna crack up about this.
I
Let me
guess I
see.
just real quick. Hannibal. I just think of you. I just think of New York City with the crazy traffic patterns. Are they really going to figure out how to do autonomous with the bumper cars of New York City?
There's your fake kid.
Definitely.
Are those boxes?
Yeah, those
Wait,
are.
that's not real.
Hey, Amazon, I think you missed where it's the front door. So the front door's supposed to be over there.
Yeah.
I like how they gave him two little arms
The
out
arms,
of
yeah,
whatever
like a
that
man.
is, the paper towel rolls or something.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Funny.
funny.
It's like that looks like me.
That's messed up, man. I
I
mean, to
was
me-
clearly that boxy when I was like 10.
That
Oh
box.
my god.
That's
God, I don't
real engineer testing there, by the way. Real engineer testing.
Real engineer testing.
And how much do these people make a year?
More than any of us.
Yeah.
Oh, they call it a box boy. I don't know if you guys seen that or not. That's box boy.
Oh, he has a name.
Yeah, he has
Jesus.
a name.
So the driver feels bad if he kills him. You killed Box Boy.
You killed box boy.
Jeez.
Oh, I should have kept scrolling.
He had a little box girlfriend.
They actually did upgrade it though. You guys want to see the upgrade?
Oh, please.
Oh, God. It better be a real kid.
Wait, is that that they put a little hat in a traffic cone?
Yeah.
Can you
Right
make
in
that?
front
Oh, I thought it was
Make
one of
that
those
bigger?
I
slow
can't
down
blow it
guy.
up.
I thought
I
it was
don't
one of
think
those
so.
slow
I don't
down
think-
people zones
Yeah.
with a traffic cone.
Oh, that's a traffic cone. It almost looks like a
It's
DoorDash bag.
Oh my!
They're gonna run over
So that's
Dashers
what
now.
So the pants are red, so that's clearly made of recycled DoorDash bags. They got a white shirt, which I don't know where they got that from, and a one of those fireman hats, because clearly the kid's playing fireman.
Oh, I thought it was Ronald McDonald hair.
Oh God, DoorDash clowns. That's who they're asking to test this on. They want to send it on DoorDash clowns.
So there you go. If you get hit by a Tesla, we have proof that they was testing it on us first.
You know, that's gonna give a new meaning to the term dash now. Like dash now. Like go.
Run!
That's funny.
Okay,
I-
so
I know you're looking over that, Steve. Did you see the one where the guy got arrested for doing a delivery to a school?
Yes. Yeah, this is and you know, I wasn't even sure about the last two. Let's talk about that one because I had two and I was like flipping a coin. The other one is that 80 billion and where it's going. But let's put that off. Let's talk about this guy that did get arrested because I mean, man, I don't know if you guys have looked into this, but it was very undeserved. This is just, I mean, I guess I can speak a little bit because my son's school was put in lockdown the very last day of school last year. I know you guys, Joe, you won't remember, but the rest of you guys remember that because it was actually on a Thursday, and I came to the roundtable that night. And it was they had choppers over his school, like cop cars were hitting the curb and up on the campus, and it was crazy. And this was all because of like next to nothing.
Mhm.
And like
What
half
was
of the
it?
Denver PD's there, it's like
Like, what was the actual reason, though?
because somebody had seen somebody walking around the hallway with a gun, but it ended up being a not Nerf. It ended up being like one of these super soakers, but smaller. And I'm like, who called in the yellow, orange, and purple super soaker as a gun?
Yeah.
I mean,
Aren't super
I've
soakers
been to
purposely-
schools where they've actually been that uptight, so I kind of see that. I know it's stupid. I know it shouldn't have been done, but people who are very preppy tend to be that uptight about it.
Well,
So
and this
they're-
was right, and to give a little context, this was right after, which I mean, there were so many last year, but I think it was right after. Was it where was it in Texas that had
Uvalde.
the? Where was
Texas.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But was it El Paso or? I can't remember where it was.
It
but
wasn't
yeah,
Austin, right? Or
no.
Houston?
No.
Somebody you like Uvalde, Texas, or something like that.
Okay.
Something like
yeah.
that.
But whatever,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
had
yeah,
happened.
Uvalde. Yeah.
And so like everybody was uptight, but clearly like an Uber Eats, driver getting handcuffed too. Like it seems enough to me that they could just grab the guy and say, "Hold on, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm working
Yeah.
for DoorDash. Here's my app. I'm delivering. And then if you have to walk, why'd they have to cuff him?
Well, he was an Uber Eats driver.
He was an Uber Eats
That
driver.
mean-
I actually,
is that good enough
yeah.
cause to cuff people?
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually covered that entire story. So
He was probably hired by DoorDash.
basically, he made it past the gate. He actually was delivering to the superintendent of the school, and the superintendent met him outside, and the cops were following behind this guy. He delivered the food to the superintendent, and the cops were like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm delivering food. It's an Uber Eats order." And he's like, "Yeah, you leaving?" He's like, "Yeah, I actually just accepted another Uber Eats order." And he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna need to cancel that now." I'm like, and then they cuffed the guy, searched his car, and detained him with the handcuffs and everything for over half an hour. The superintendent tried to step in and stop it. And what the cops told them was, if you try to step in, we're going to arrest you too. And then he ended up making calls and talking to lawyers after the whole ordeal. And now they're suing the police department for that.
Oh, I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. Take it. Hashtag defund the police. How?
Yeah. I'm so torn on that subject, but the way they are, I mean, I get it. My son goes to a school. I mean, Hannibal has a kid that goes to a school. Gary's kids are older, but
They did go to school at one point.
Right. Gary
promise.
sent his kids to school too.
Hopefully they did. Yes.
Kim's she's gonna go through all this stuff. I mean, we all have our kids in school, but I mean, even I kind of want to go enough. Like, of course I want him protected, but my son is like, he's kind of sick of all that crap too. Like, they've had the training of, and I've asked him, he's just like total joke. And, and he's like, in an emergency, not what I would do at all.
See, I get them question. I get that they're questioning this guy. I get that. I get that part. But when the super, attendant person, when she's standing there saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" At that point, you'd be like, "Okay, just go ahead and get off campus."
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you did your job. You're here to do your job.
Right.
Go,
Leave.
like, do your job and leave. Like, that's what I would expect a cop to say in that situation. You're going to do your job. You're going to make sure that the person that entered the campus that you have not properly identified is there for a reason, number one. Number two, actually dropping off whatever they need to drop off. And then they're leaving, so they're not loitering or causing any problems on a school campus. That makes sense to me. But they didn't do that. They just literally harassed the guy for, I don't know. What was the actual reason that they actually went into this, went to harass this one guy, as opposed to how many other people have probably gone in and out of that campus, no problem?
Yeah. There was one time I was out late dashing, and I'm late meaning probably like 11, maybe close to midnight. This is like a couple of years ago when I first started. And I was going speed limit. I get pulled over. I'm like, why did I get pulled over? So the officer pulls me into a parking lot and he says driver's license and driver like registration. I said, I'm sorry, officer, what did I do? He's like, I'll be back. I'm like, what the heck did I do?
Terminator.
And with that, like, I get surrounded by 5 other cop cars. And I'm like,
Because you
what?
Look threatening.
I'm like,
Clearly.
5 with me. Like, really? So he comes back. He's just like, what is the decorated light in the front of your car that you can turn on and turn off? It's not your headlight. It's the whatever light it is that you can turn on and turn off.
The fog lights?
Maybe it's the fog lights. Yeah. One of them was out.
Brights?
Yeah.
The
one
fog
of them was
light.
out.
It's
Yeah,
probably
fog
the
light.
fog lights.
Yeah,
Or
one of
running
them was
lights.
out. Yeah,
And that's
one
why
of
you
them was
needed
out.
multiple cops to.
Needed 5
Surround
cops
you?
for that.
That's why I got surrounded by 5 cop cars.
But
I'm like,
did they fix it? That's it. You see, you should have made them feel dumb. But like, oh well, since there's 5 of you guys, surely one of you guys know how to fix it.
Yeah,
But I'm like-
I should do that too. Give him like a sly remark. That'll help
No,
me.
Yeah.
out.
you don't. You know, no, Hannibal, you don't do that.
Hannibal, I don't think you would get away with that.
We
my
can
dude.
fix it. Yeah, I'll be
Like-
fine.
Like-
it was the craziest thing. I'm like, why am I so like 5 foot Kim? I'm the most intimidating person ever. 5
Clearly.
cop cars.
I mean, you definitely had too much Dr. Pepper in your trunk. Like
I
that's
I
like
totally did.
that's the new Coke. Clearly.
Were there any guns drawn?
No, thank
my
God for that. No, but-
Imagine.
No, I
See,
can
see,
imagine.
I'm too much of a smartass. I'm too much of a smartass. I would
Yeah.
say something.
Yeah,
You
me
bring
too.
5 cop cars to.
I think
to
I'd
me,
even get out of the car.
Yeah,
and then when they're
I
like,
would.
stay in the car, I'd be like, no, I got something to say. You know, like,
I think you would do that too.
I would.
I think you would.
Yes.
I'm unarmed. I would hold my hands up and be like, I am unarmed.
Oh, you know the one thing that really pisses me off, and trust me, I'm for law enforcement. I know they got a job.
Yes.
I hate when they touch my damn car. Like, don't walk over and put your hand on my car.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that. Like, now you're leaving fingerprints on my damn car.
Yeah. So, like, can I see your insurance and registration license? Well, can you get your hand off my car?
Oh, I say that every time to them too, because they always got it right above my door there, and that's something I gotta see. And I'm like, hey, when you come back, can you bring a towel and wipe off your fingerprints every single time? I don't care.
Just hand him a clean wipe.
Yeah.
Just be like, could you?
And I
don't want to get
know-
arrested for the crimes you commit off duty.
and I know why they do it, but at the same time, whenever they leave, they should wipe it off my car.
Yeah.
They do what for a reason? What-
They touch it. Well, they touch your car for 2 reasons. Is one, if you flee and they find the car later, then their fingerprints on it, or say somebody does something to the officer, they touch that car, they know that it was that car. It's a safety thing, but at the same time, it annoys me.
I figured it was
majorly.
always like leverage in case you tried to open the door or pull something on them that they could quicker push away.
Yeah,
if you're just-
I was
if you're
actually
just
thinking it was
standing-
more of an intimidation thing. Like,
No, I know why they do it. I have several cop friends, but it still pisses me off.
you
every
know
time.
why we pulled you over, right? Get all up in your business.
I don't mind the cops. I'll just say that. I don't mind them at all. I don't
No,
deal
I
with them
think
too
they're
often. and
here to
they,
do their job.
I don't
I
have
No,
too
just,
much issues with them. So
Gary
Uh-huh.
said it too, and I say it too. Like
Yeah,
we used
I
to have
appreciate
them.
them.
Well, yeah, I actually know a lot. in
Oh, I
Denver
appreciate
because-
them, but they annoy the shit out of me.
because we used to have an off-duty officer program at the bar where we were paying them to be in uniform, but to be standing there with the door guy. Their whole thing was, we just don't want, if we need to shoot somebody, we will, but if you need to beat somebody up, have your door guy do it.
Mm.
That's kind of how they treated it.
That's kind of
Like they would stand there in
Dark.
uniform. Yeah,
Like
and
if you need us to shoot somebody, we got you. Don't worry.
right, like if a gun was pulled in the bar, they're in uniform, they have their gun,
Right.
they will shoot the person. But like anything short of that, like if somebody takes a swing at the door guy,
As long as it's not the cop.
Yeah.
the door
like
guy
Jeff
just
Brown.
quickly give him the eye, and he'd give him the nod, and the door guy would pound the guy into the floor. And then it's because here was the deal: they didn't want the police called for District 2, because even though District 2 had an officer who handled the off-duty police program for bars, it was off the books and it was a cash deal.
Mm.
So they really didn't want to have to call one of their own when they were doing this, because some of the people in District 2, police officers, thought this was very sketchy, and they didn't like that police officers were taking $40, $50 an hour from these bars on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night for 4 or 5 hours.
It's their side hustle. They gotta pay the bills too, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they're civil servants, but they're independent contractors on the side.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No,
You
they're
will
not
all be
contracted. They're contracted with a handshake, man.
Anybody touching my car next gig conference will be washing it.
That's
I'm
where
gonna
Gary
touch
draws the
it.
line.
Yeah, you will be out there scrubbing.
I think
You're
I
gonna
want to
see
just do it on
Steven in
purpose, just
Speedo.
to
I
really
know,
piss
right?
you off.
Wait till you
We should
turn
get a
his head
picture
and
with all of us on hand on Gary's car.
Take a picture.
I'm not parked so far away.
Take
You're
the
not going to
dirt
want
on
to
the side of your car.
Oh, we'll
make a
find it.
little
Don't
heart.
worry.
I'm not Uber to it.
I don't know. So, you guys, what Hannibal? You have more videos coming up than I've seen in months.
I know, right?
What do you
I've
got
done
going? I mean, I'm glad, but what do you got going on?
And he's
'Cause
live
it's,
Just
it's
more
too
live
much.
streams. People like the live streams. I think they like, a little bit more of this kind of dynamic. So, me and you, we're doing every other. I think it's every other Tuesday.
Yep.
That we're gonna be doing other independent contracting work, having a spotlight on that. I know you talking to a few people, and we're gonna have a lot of information that's just beyond the apps. I know we haven't figured out the real name of it beyond the apps or beyond the gig apps, but
I'm leaving the
looking at
rest
other
up to
opportunities
Hannibal.
to make a good living that isn't dependent on DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats. So I got that. Still going to talk about this concept, and I'm sure you guys seen a lot of videos about it. UDM talked about it. That is there's hourly cap or cap on, I guess, your average weekly earnings on DoorDash. People going back and forth on it. I think I'm gonna have a live stream right next week talking about it, and I think the next week over, me and Kim are gonna be talking about, her experiences with being a top dasher, seeing how that worked out, if it worked out, if it's a better experience, and a lot of people are doing top dasher. That's going to be hitting September, so that's gonna be a really fun month on just to seeing if the new strategies, or it's not new strategy, but is this current strategy working? Looking at patterns, because that's what it is, right? Like, we don't know everything about what's going on with the apps or whatever, but what your pattern is in your market, what's working, what's not working. So that's what I'll be spending a lot of my time on.
Yeah, and for those that missed what Hannibal was talking about in the first one, the first thing he was saying, we just did the first one this week and it went really well. And with the topic, not surprised, but just happy to see that it went that well.
Yeah, a lot of people were really, really excited. Asked a lot of good questions.
Tons of questions. I mean, we couldn't even get all the like we said on the stream, and we could have gone 5 hours. There were just questions coming through left and right. Joel was going to be with us for 20 minutes. The CEO of Dumpling, he stayed for an hour.
Yeah.
We couldn't get him out of there. It was to help him even, but he was fine with it. It was great. So I thought that was super cool. But Gary, I guess you're still pounding your head about the iOS thing.
Well, no, okay. I Apple finally, I peeled the rejection thing, and Apple finally approved a beta version of DUH on iOS.
Yay.
But I wasn't happy with the way it looked.
Oh,
Don't get picky now, man.
No, it has to look good. And so I was like, well, this isn't doing what I wanted to do, and so I'm still working on it. But I think it, here, I'll show you. Let me see if I can bring this up. It's looking pretty good to me.
But will you have to resubmit when you make it look better than what they
Can't see it,
accepted?
Gary.
Yeah, it looks
kinda
like
see it.
yeah, I kind of see it.
I kind of see it.
it's on an iPhone.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's on an iPhone.
Crazy.
I'm so excited to test it, Gary.
That's it, guys. You just saw it. You just saw, for all the times he's been working on it, you just saw a first teaser. Well, he's teased us before, but there it is.
All that hard work
But
paid off,
Gary, will you have to resubmit it to Apple now?
Yeah. I'll still have to resubmit an update, but like what they was having a problem with is, I guess, some of the wording I use, because I use things like automation and things like that, and Apple hates anything that automates anything. They don't want their users to automate anything. And so I had to go. That's why it's going to have a different. iOS is going to have a way different look than the Android version, because it's basically got to come off like it's a delivery platform. So that way they go, okay, it's delivery platform, go away.
So it makes it easier to get it through
Right.
their nonsense.
Right. Instead of going in and saying I automate this or I automate that and things like that. So, but I mean,
iPhone
it's
doesn't believe in future. Got it.
yeah, they don't, and it's a pain dealing with them, and so, I could have continued with the version that I submitted to them, but then I feel like whenever I went to put it to the public version, because when you submit a beta version, they do a quick look at it. But then when you change it from beta to actually public, then they do a deep dive into it. And I had that feeling like, well, if they deep dive into this, they're gonna be like, hell no.
Don't they into everything or no?
Say what?
Don't they do it into everything?
Not the beta versions. The beta versions, they just pretty much kind of check it, make sure it doesn't crash on you, things like that. But then once you roll it over to a public version, that's whenever they start looking at what does your app do? Does it break any of our place or our app store terms of service, things of that nature.
Right.
So,
okay. Well, that's huge.
And of course, if you haven't updated your DUH on Android, you probably want to, because I did add some cool features to it.
Cool. Like,
I'm not telling you, go update your DUH.
Go check it out yourself.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Now, I mean, I will tell you one, like I added the ability, because like the API for the apartments, they don't have every apartment mapped, and so I actually added the ability that users can go in there and add the apartment, so that way the next time that order shows up, they'll know it's an apartment.
And you can find, eventually you'll find it there, but right now you can find all of his apps at Gary's apps. You can know Middleton Technologies, you can know DUH, you can know Maximo, you can know Flex Alert, but you can find them all right there.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to get confused.
Correct.
But okay, Kim, what do you got going on?
A whole bunch of stuff. So I'm still uploading every day. Content is, getting out there. It's been a little different lately. I'm trying to get out as much as I possibly can as it happens. Lots of shorts have been coming out lately. I live streaming. I'm thinking, scary, but I'm thinking about starting to do interviewing. So stay tuned and find out for that. So I might be calling on all of you guys for me to interview, but stay tuned to find out. But it's kind of something I've been thinking about lately. And Steve, do you mind if I talk about the driver's right real quick?
Go for it.
Okay, so I announced it this week. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go to Driver Rights with a not an S, it's just driverrights.org. The para team started a petition about a couple months ago, and it has gone so big that they actually created a website. So everybody go check it out, because they're really fighting for a lot of our driver rights. And that's really it, just really getting out there and making hopefully good content for everybody and uploading daily.
Yeah. And you're live on Tuesdays.
And I'm live on Tuesdays, yes. 8 p.m. Join me.
Yep.
Wait, when are you going to start doing interviews? Like what day?
It'll be on my Tuesday live.
Oh.
8 p.m. Eastern, she meant to.
8 p.m. Eastern. I'll let you know, Gary. You can be one of my guests.
Yeah, well, at least I can go on yours. Hannibal never invites me to his.
Oh,
Ooh.
Wow. Shots fired.
Oh.
first of all, he's been on. I think. Yeah, you've been on.
Yeah, I joined once whenever you very first started sharing the StreamYard link. I was on there once.
So,
Wait, you were on the
y'all.
other day when you had the Sin City thing going.
Yeah, that's whenever he
that's
just
what-
recently started doing the StreamYard links, though.
Right. Okay. So Joe, what about you? I mean, and you should tell us, because I wonder how many people know like when you drop and what platforms you're on, and so why don't you give us like the full breakdown of what you do and when people should check you out. First of all, Joe's channel is in the show notes right now, you guys. So check out his channel, give a like, give a sub. But yeah, why don't you tell us what you got, which platforms, what you got going on?
So I am on YouTube and TikTok more actively now. I'm on Instagram and Twitter as well, but I'm not really active on Instagram and Twitter at the moment. But what I've been doing is at 8 a.m. I have a poll drop, basically based on the video the night before. At 12 p.m. I have a YouTube short going on, and at 10 p.m., 22 minutes ago, a video would have been dropped. Actually, was dropped every night, every single day. That's all YouTube and TikTok. It's sporadic on TikTok. I basically talk about things as they happen as I'm out throughout my day. So that's me vlogging and going through my ride along experience through TikTok.
Yeah, I feel like you must drop more than I think you do on TikTok, because I'll come on there, I'll be gone, I'll be off it for like a day or two, and then you know how you see like what other people are doing that you follow, and you'll be like all over that, and I'm like, he made like 20 in 2 days. Like,
I don't think I'm doing that much, but
well, somehow you're coming in my feed like right at the top too, so you're doing something right, I guess is what I'm saying. You know,
I always know when Steve's checking TikTok because he always sends me videos.
Because I'm telling you, I am starting to get it cleaned out. It takes a lot of time to get the junk out of TikTok in your feed. Like this is not like YouTube or something. There's junk every day.
Yeah, it's hard to get past some get out of certain types of TikToks. Like you can end up on so many different areas of life, let alone TikTok. There are things that I've learned more about on TikTok than I ever can learn anywhere else. Like seriously. Well, there's what was the one that I just recently experienced? So I ended up on Tax Talk one day, like somehow, and they were actually talking about how the IRS actually updated they actually just hired like a bajillion different auditors, and how
80,000.
Yeah. And they're going after people who have small businesses and stuff like that. Basically,
and gig workers.
Yeah, and gig workers. Basically, and if you have a net worth of under 200K, they want to go after you because the goal is you can't fight back the same way a corporation can fight back. So they want to beat the crap out of you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, it makes sense after a global pandemic. That's what we all need is a beating. So
yeah,
we're all gonna get edited and audit.
Yeah.
I've read a lot on this stuff though. None of these people are trained yet, so we got to be careful because it's not like 80,000 new IRS agents were just released into the wild. They're being trained. They don't even know what they're doing.
Didn't they say that they were? Didn't they also say that you need to be willing to use deadly force at some point too?
I saw something about that too. I don't know what that.
They had to they got so much backlash for it. They took it out.
I mean, does that mean IRS agents carry a gun to an audit? That's kind of threatening.
Yeah.
Can I carry a gun to an audit to make it fair?
Is self-defense allowed?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna bring a shotgun.
I'm in an open carry state.
So. Just sit there with a.
I'm sorry. How much do I owe?
I dare you to reach for that gun. We're in my house.
Oh my gosh!
But honestly, like I didn't really know that. I didn't know that they had to bring a gun to an audit. Well, how bad could it go in an audit? The worst thing that could happen is the guy you're auditing says, "Hey man, get out of my house. I'm not going to ever pay it."
Yeah, like
isn't there a better way than pulling a gun on him?
Right.
I say you are
show up like gangsters now.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It's we're not. I'm not. It could go political way too quickly. But to be honest, I am not sure what either side or anybody's doing anymore because nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. Everything is all about the midterm elections this year, so nothing's going to make sense until midterm elections is over.
Yeah, exactly. And until then, it's just going to get weirder too. I feel like And we're going to see stupider bills, stupider ideas. You know,
the things that they're saying is actually going to help inflation. That's actually
we're
going to deal with
use
inflation.
words like stupider.
Yeah. Dang, lots of shots thrown today. My God.
We do it on this channel though. We laugh with each other.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
we laugh
when we
at
leave
each
here,
other.
when we
Oh,
yeah, we're laughing at each other too. I mean, like whatever, but we don't. We practice ELE here, so which if you've never
Everyone
seen the
like everyone.
which
can't
if
say
you've, never,
love.
if you've never seen the Will Ferrell movie, it's Everybody Love Everybody. So
Everybody love everybody. Okay.
Or kindness is always free.
How much does it take to be a jerk?
Hey, Hannibal, what's your slogan? Like he has one, she has one.
I
What's
think mine
yours?
was like, you don't have to like everybody, but that's like the opposite of what what you guys are saying. So I think I told Steve, like, we're not all gonna get along, bro. Like
Hannibal's like a big sticker that says "People suck."
Yeah, like, you know, what else are you gonna do? Can't force people to like each other, which is not the most positive way of looking at it. But I'm in Brooklyn. That's how I survive.
No, it's realist. It's being a realist. I guess I'm just trying to be a little bit of a dreamer.
We're good. We need a balance of that. We need a balance.
Yeah.
ERE. Everybody respect everybody.
I think we all
I like that
respect
one.
each other here.
Yeah, I mean,
We all
no.
we all poke fun to a certain degree, but
Well, on here, yeah, I'm just saying
Yeah.
of the whole community. Like,
no one respects everybody at this point. Too many
by
shots. at-
respect, I just mean like let people make the content they want to make. Let people do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. As long as it doesn't step on anybody's toes, I feel like that's pretty much what everybody's doing.
Yeah,
Like,
Maybe all right.
yeah, we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Keep positive shows like this going on. You know, the positive people show. Like this crowd in here on Thursday nights is always awesome. Like these guys are.
And Sunday in our Sunday stream, they're awesome there too.
Yeah. And on Sunday we get some of the controversial people, and they still end up being cool. Probably because they know Gary will just be like, "Beep." "You're muted. Talk all you want."
it's kind of like the hide your comment thing on YouTube. Like, oh, you could comment all you want, just no one's gonna see it.
Dang. See, I thought we was gonna get away without this comment, but never.
There's never anything that happens where Hannibal's on it where cuddling doesn't get said.
Well, I thought I've been watching the chat and
We were pretty
I thought
close to getting out of
we
this
was,
too.
we was almost out of it. We was almost out of it.
Wait, like Hannibal, you were the one that actually found that app where
Oh,
you
he's
can
on
actually
it. No,
get-
I'm just kidding.
He's on it? Is he? No. I gotta know if he's actually on it. Don't try to run off.
No.
No.
All right, we'll see everybody next week.
He'll try it one day. Watch.
I'm gonna try it, but
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? When he's rolling up to the next gig conference at a Benz, we're all gonna be like, "Where'd he get that money?"
I'm telling you.
Well, I was cuddling.
Hey, listen. It's funny, like it got so much of a running joke. Like I have to do it now. Like eventually I have to do it.
Oh
I
my
can't
God,
not
yeah.
do it.
I just
It'll
want to
be
know
even
how
if
you're
you
going to
don't-
do a
Such a
video on
highly
it.
viewed video. The
Even
video's
if you
gonna
don't
get
do
so
it,
many
you have to
views.
make a video where you're doing it, maybe just with your wife, and like something goes
Yeah.
wrong, like one of your
I already
satire
cuddled too
type.
much.
Or,
Well,
I'm
You
kidding.
can do
Kim,
It's fine.
like whenever it first came out, like I messaged somebody on one of the sites and asked if we could talk about it, things like that. And she was willing to do anything on the camera. So I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
jeez.
Animal would be able
What?
to.
What there, Gary?
I'm just saying.
All right, Gary.
Animal,
enough.
10% discount. They'll let you record it.
you guys, hopefully, Joe, I don't know if you know Bud Soda, but I have to point this out. I love Bud Soda. I know we all do. But he is actually saying that we are going over on time. Now, I don't know if anybody else gets the humor in this, but Bud Soda has a way of talking. I mean, like, come on, bro. I mean,
Bud Soda has something to say. He's gonna say it. Yeah.
but we love Bud Soda. But honestly,
Bud
like,
Soda.
that comment just hit me so funny. Because there's the driven mom. Let them roll, Bud Soda.
Hey, it's not our Sunday fun day. We can go like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Well, they're now.
We don't need sleep, right?
Well, I want to. You guys, I first want to shout out to check out Solo Moves and of course Gary'sApps.com. And if you guys don't know what are Gary'sApps.com or what apps they are, go there and see what they are. Always feel free, you guys, to reach out to me at steve@ridesharerodeo.com. I love to hear from you guys. And thank you for the weekly panel, and thank you to Joe Driven Wyld for joining us tonight. Make sure to check out his channel, you guys, if you haven't. And chat, you're all the best. You guys are awesome. Love you guys being here every week. And stay positive. I don't know. Earn smart. Use Gary's apps for safety. And have a good week, you guys.
Do your outro like you do TikTok.
I did it wrong because I'm not on TikTok. I had a mic I could hit. I need this away from me.
That's adorable.
I need to be holding the phone here.
You people
it's
are
like
welcome.
it's a thing. I have to.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. It's awesome.
It is.
What does your son say about that?
My son's like, why are you on TikTok? That's the stupidest platform ever. And he's the age you're supposed to be on it. He's 16 next week, my son. Like, he's that perfect target age, and he's like, why the hell are you on here? I don't know.
That's too funny.
But thank you guys for joining us. Arturo, I see you there. And Arturo, thank you again, man.
He's the
awesome.
best.
Yeah, MVP.
Yeah. Keep your fingerprints off my car.
Yes.
Will Gary Smith.
Yeah. Smack shit out you.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week, if not before, on the Thursday Roundtable. Peace.
Peace.